Today we have Sai Karthik. Sai Karthik is a mechanical engineering graduate from NIT Warangal from the batch of 2020, and he's joining IIM Indore for his MBA this year. Hello, Karthik. Welcome to our channel, and thank you for taking out the time.
Thank you, Ajay. Thank you for this opportunity. It's a really good initiative you have been taking, and it's something I always wanted to do as well. So, looking forward to it.
Thanks, Karthik, and congrats on your selection to IIM Indore from our end.
Thank you, Ajay. Thank you very much.
Karthik, take us through your journey. Where have you been born and brought up? How was your childhood like? And how did you end up doing mechanical engineering from NIT Warangal?
So, initially, I used to stay in Delhi. My father was working in the IOCL refinery. So, after that, in my second class, I moved to Kuwait in the Gulf, and later I had to move back to India because my parents were considering to become a local and write the MSET exam in India. You had to stay in Hyderabad for at least 5 years. So we came back to India in my ninth standard. So initially, the study environment abroad in Kuwait and coming back here and getting adjusted here was difficult, considering there was no academic rigor in the Gulf country where I was staying. And when I came back here, I really understood how the competition is, and I'm happy that I've come early and started early in India, because the kind of academic rigor and the kind of hard work people put in here is very different. And I joined a school and completed my 10th class here, and then I moved to the everyone's destination, Chaitanya. And later, I always had the plan of like my parents. My father is a NIT Warangal graduate, and we already knew how it was, and we used to have regular visits to the college. So that kind of served as an inspiration to try and get into these good colleges. And thankfully, I was always interested in mechanical engineering. It was both by chance and choice. So I'm happy that I've graduated now, and I'll be joining IIM Indore. So the 4 years at NIT Warangal were also enriching, and many experiences which helped gain answers to some behavioral questions in these interviews. I've also attended a XLRI interview. So all these experiences from NIT as well as previous experience really helped a lot.
Nice to hear that, Karthik. I mean, also very nice to hear that your father is also a graduate of NIT Warangal. So, Karthik, at what point in your during your undergrad did you decide that you wanted to go for an MBA?
So initially, being quite frank, I always had this feeling of missing out on an IIT when I joined NIT. So that constant thing that I need to get that IIM tag was there right from the initial stages of my BTech. And usually my parents also encourage the same. And but in the first year, I really did not try to collect any information or anything regarding the CAT exam. But later in my second year, when one of my seniors got into good college, that's when I realized too, like I had to go somewhere, and I just made sure I got the information which is required to attempt the CAT exam. And right in my fourth year, maybe 4 months before the exam, I actually put in a good amount of effort to get through the CAT exam. So basically, in my second year is when I realized that I need to now whatever steps I must be taking. So that should help me get into an IIM, and so that's how I planned my 3 years of BTech.
So, Karthik, you said that you started your CAT preparation 4 months before the actual CAT examination, and it depends on person to person, right? For some people, 4 months might be enough. Some might take 6 or 8 months. So, when you started your preparation, at what stage were you? Did you give a mock and realize that these are the areas of my weaknesses? These are the areas of my strengths. How did you go about your preparation from the time you decided of giving CAT in 2019?
So whoever has asked me any advice regarding the CAT exam, I've just given them one thing, that CAT is an aptitude test, and you don't really have to dedicate time for it separately, and it should aptitude is something you need to have in general life as well, and try to these aptitude questions are always relevant in your life. So when I was part of my engineering, there were many competitions which were there, and usually the first round of these competitions was an aptitude test. So it just became a way of life. So I'm practicing for these questions indirectly. I'm not thinking that these questions are going to appear in CAT and that's why I'm going to solve these, but it's indirectly. So basically, if you have a good foundation maths from class 11 and 12th, it becomes easy to solve these questions. So if you are from a arts or arts background where you are not in touch with your 12th class mathematics, I would recommend you to take at least like 8 months before the exam, just to get acquainted with the topics which are there, because you haven't been in touch with them. And if you're an engineer, if and you're good enough and you have a good foundation, that around 3 to 4 months should be enough. So the first thing you must be doing is take a mock exam. There are three sections in the CAT exam, and basically when you give these mock exams, just find out what is your weaker section. There is always a weak section for everyone, so, and it will be different for everyone, and everyone has a different story, and it is totally good if you find your weaknesses early and try to work upon them. And see, when I gave the mock exam, the first mock exam, I got to know that DLR section is something which I have to work on, because I'm able to solve all the questions, but the uh, time limit was there, and I couldn't solve it within the time. So the first thing which I realized that I needed to solve these questions with a time frame in mind and choose the right questions to solve during the exam, and make sure you do those with accuracy. And so all these steps was from the first mock exam. Then after a week I took another. So basically you need to see if you are improving through every mock exam. So I personally didn't take any classes or coaching, because I felt that mock exams were a really good resource, and you just have to be diligent enough to know what mistakes you have done and the weakness areas you have to find out. So that is how it is.
So I think Karthik, you took your CAT preparation in a very objective way, just analyzing your weaknesses. But sometimes when you're giving mocks, you score less in certain sections, and that takes a hit on your confidence. So how did you go about those aspects when you're scoring low or when you're not performing very well in maybe one or two sections sometimes? So how was that phase for you?
Yes, I also had these very low scoring mocks. The important thing here is that you just need to keep yourself motivated. One thing which helped me, like starting 4 months before the exam, I usually have the tendency of getting fatigued with the preparation, something which I made a mistake during my JE days. So keeping your momentum going and keeping yourself motivated, these two are key. Like 1 month before the exam, you can't lose your motivation and you can't lose the momentum you have. So these low scoring mocks are going to be like the speed breakers you have, but still in the end, like you just have to see that are you able to solve all those questions. Usually whenever I had a low scoring mock, it was usually due to the time limit which was there. I was able to at least solve around 60 questions without the time limit. So after the mock exam was done, I tried to solve these questions, and I usually got to answer most of them. So the basic thing is that you must realize that you are able to solve the question, and it is just one off day which was there, and you should make sure you have the consistency in the next coming. Like usually the one thing which I had a problem was time management. If there is a DLR question which I wasn't able to solve, I took it upon my ego to solve it during the exam, something which you should avoid. So if you're not getting a question, just try to move on to the next question. Try finding the right question, which is very important, or try finding the easiest set. Make sure you do it with 100% accuracy, and make sure there is a section cutoff for each section, and you must clear the section cutoff to qualify for interviews. And to do that, make a like a basic structure where you fix in your mind that you must be solving at least 15 questions. There will always be easy questions in every question paper, and you just need to find them. So if you are in the VARC section, try to find those 15 questions which you are able to do, and make sure you do them with 100% accuracy, and then you move on to the tougher questions or the medium questions, whichever you think you can do. And in the DLR section, the finding the right set, just go through all the 8 sets which are there and make sure you find and mark the questions which you will be able to do with 100% accuracy, and just finding out that. So these low scoring marks is something which is only due to bad time management which will be there, and just you need to keep yourself motivated throughout the journey. And these speed breakers will occur, they have occurred for every cat topper who is there, but you just need to realize what you can improve upon that and what mistakes you have done.
I think very well explained, Karthik. You put it across very well that just this is because lack of time management. It's just not that you're doing those bad. I think analysis is something which is very important, and you put across those points very well. So, Karthik, sometimes there are people who do very well in all the mocks, but on the actual day of the exam, sometimes the tension takes on you or the nerves start breaking. So, how was it for you on the actual CAT day?
See, always the environment which in the cat environment will be different, and you will have the pressure. But see, you just have to make sure that you have this in mind that if not this year, you're going to give it next year. I know that some people might be giving the exam for 4 or 5 years now, and this writing this cat will be important for them. But again, if you go into if you go into the examination room with this mindset that if not this year, I'll give it next year, and I just have to give it as another mock test, and we'll see how it goes. So if you go in with that mindset and try to keep yourself calm and see, at least in the JE days, if you if you got through that exam or not, it only depends on that day. You can't take it again. Parents are going to force you to get into a college this year, not waste a year. But if you have this mindset of like, if not this year, the next year, and see, you will get to do some work experience and all that. So it will not be bad if you attempt next year. So just make sure in your mind that if not this year, I will do it next year so that I'll get a better score than this for sure, and just have the confidence in you and remain calm during the exam, because all the effort, the exam is like that. So all the effort you put in for 4 months, 12 months, the exam paper, the examiner doesn't know. It only depends on that day, and he's going to evaluate only your performance on that day. So it is important you remain calm and make sure you make the best of those 3 hours.
Yeah, Karthik, I think you very well pointed about the mindset aspect of it. At the end of the day, it's, you need to have the right mindset. Otherwise, you'll just feel tense and you'll not be in a position to give best. At the end of the day, it's about making yourself be in a position where you'll be able to give your best so that you'll have the best shot possible. So, Karthik, you're giving your cat, and then there is a time gap between the cat and the results are out. So, did you start your preparation for for the VAT and PIs? Or did you wait for the CAT result to come out?
Actually, there was a time gap of 1 month between the CAT exam and the XAT exam, XLRI exam. So after I came out of the CAT exam room, so I thought I didn't perform to my best expectations. So I always had this feeling of acing the XAT exam. So I put in a lot of effort during that 1 month, especially, and I got a good score in XAT and a few calls from the XLRI as well. So after the XLRI test was done, I sat down to like, there was always this discussion about those behavioral questions, the group discussion topics which will be there, the what topics which will be there. And see, I've always thought, I've asked my seniors about what calls I would be getting considering my overall profile, and just distributed like, there are few interview experiences which you will get on Quora where you can understand which IIMs target which type of questions they have. So when I went for the indoor interview, I always knew that they are going to target my academic skills and whatever I've learned in my mechanical engineering. So I brushed up all those topics and questions. And as I entered the interview room, they started asking me the mechanical questions, which I was able to answer very well. And also, I keep following the news every day, and I didn't prepare for the general knowledge questions separately, but I just made sure I did not miss out on any topics which I haven't been following the news, and try to have a knowledge about them. Because during one of my interview, they asked me Since I'm a mechanical engineer, they asked me that there's an issue about a jet engine problem which is going on in the industry, and what is the problem exactly. So I see they have a tendency of linking the academic discipline you are specialized in with the general news which is going on in the industry, and they I try to ask questions like that. So I try to follow these things like group discussion topics over the last 1 year. What topics have been there and what can be asked from them, and make sure you have a writing practice as well. See, I personally felt I didn't put in the effort which I had to put in, but you can always start preparing after you've given your CAT exam. Try to check which group discussion topics have been asked last year, and from then on, what topics have been like have the potential of appearing for a group discussion. And also make sure if you're specializing whatever you're having good knowledge about the academics discipline you are specialized in, and there are going to be questions on that as well.
So I think, yeah, Karthik, I think you started preparing from your undergrad point of view, that the kind of questions that can be possibly asked. And then since you are already good with general knowledge, I think that helped a lot. So Karthik, you were in the final year of your graduation. A lot of things would be happening, your final year projects, your placements in college. So how did you balance your CAT preparation and other things? Because after CAT, there was the interview preparation, and then you had to attend the interviews and all. So how was this like balancing both the things?
It was actually again it was a matter of time management again. So I was a placement coordinator in my final year as well. So a lot of the time was usually occupied in that area, and it is just that I had to maintain a consistent time every day for this CAT preparation. So around 1 and 1.5 hour, which I used to devote for this CAT exam, attending sectional tests in whatever weak section I was feeling, and making sure the quantitative aptitude was something which I was good at, and I needed to maximize my score in that area. So I used to take sectional tests in that area as well. So at least I used to devote at least 1 to 1.5 hour every day. There's always time for that, considering I had the project as well. But the final year classes in our college, usually there are only 3 classes, and usually these classes are on and off. So I used to find time, and also balancing my duties as a placement coordinator, I made sure I used at least found out 1 and 1.5 hour time every day, and make sure I practice sectional tests wherever I got them on the internet, free resources, anything like that.
Okay. So Karthik, undergrad plays a very important role in shaping individuals as a person. So you've been in one of the best engineering colleges in India, and I think mechanical engineering, you are aligned towards doing engineering from the mechanical department. So how did the 4 years experience at NIT Warangal shape you? What kind of experiences you had?
Before joining the engineering college, I was this very shy boy who would be the last person to take up any responsibility, who would be the last person to speak up against anything or for anything. So I didn't interact with many people before I joined the engineering college. So it all changes. See, even I would not be able to talk to you like this maybe 4 years back. So it is all that experiences in the undergraduation. There is a lot of platforms you get in, and you just have to go there and utilize them. And so yeah, I've got a lot of platforms during all this time. There was a racing team which I joined. So in this racing team, that was the first time I had got a project done from end to end, starting from the design of the vehicle to the manufacturing of the vehicle. So I got a lot of opportunity in understanding and applying what I've learned in my academics to apply it in the practical world. In addition to that, I've got a lot of people skills as well, talking to people, getting work done by people, and making sure you meet deadlines. You know what to do if there is a failure before a deadline, what actions to take, how to react to a situation. See, all these experiences is something which you can get only when you go out there and utilize each platform. And my only thing would be that whatever task you take up, make sure you give 100% into it so that you get the best results irrespective of the final result, which uh, we got an all India rank of 19 when we went into the competition thinking that we'll end up being in the top 5. So that's something which didn't matter to us. We were really happy with the Air 19 because we knew what hard work we had put in, what amount of effort which we had put into the project. We went to the event there, and during the acceleration test, our vehicle crashed. One of the wheel of the vehicle just came out completely, and the entire vehicle fell onto that side, and there was a broken steel member. So we were virtually out of the competition. But that's when people got together, the entire team came together and tried to manufacture out a solution for this and made sure we participate in the event again, because that was the only thing which we have been working on for 8 months before the event. So whenever you put that much amount of effort, you should make sure that you put in your 100% effort and make sure you complete the entire thing which you have been planning to do. Irrespective of the result which comes on the final day, it is important that the entire process is enjoyed. In addition to that, I was a placement coordinator as well, something which I took up with a lot of enthusiasm because I was a school head boy in my 10th class, and that was something which I didn't enjoy much. I wasn't able to do much as well. I had many ideas to implement, but being that shy boy, I wasn't really able to uh, do anything or make an impact. So the placement coordinator was something which I took up with a lot of enthusiasm because I just wanted to make sure I put in an impact there and leave something behind, like have that satisfaction that I've done something and help people. And so that was something, another enriching experience, because during these placement interviews, people usually attend these interviews and they come back and share their personal interview experiences, their group discussion topics. So these all things are something which I collected as well. I try to interact with as many people as possible, got to interact, know how group discussion topics were there, what interviews questions they were asking. So these really helped in preparing for my VAT PI exam for B school preparation as well. So the all these in the end they added up and made sure I got into a good college. So I feel really happy, and I express my gratitude to everything and everyone who has helped me be here. There are numerous experiences which uh, NIT Warangal gave me. There was elocution competitions, something which I didn't participate up to my 12th class. I see they gave me the confidence that yes, you can go and perform. Yes, you can go win a competition. That confidence is something which NIT Warangal gave me. So there are a lot of opportunities. There are fests which are being conducted. It's just that you just need to go there, participate in those events, try to get the best out of them.
I think your message goes across to those people giving IIT JEE or other entrance examinations this year as well, because that's the main reason that you actually have to get into a good college. It's about not just the academics, but the experiences, like people like you that have the experiences shape us, and they bring out new talents out of us, which we didn't realize existed inside us, be it leading teams or participating in competitions,
Yes,
winning them.
one more
Yeah, Karthik, go ahead.
one more thing which I would like to share is that see, you have joined a college, and whenever you join a college, don't limit yourself to the people in the college. So try to interact with people outside from the college, see what they are doing, like something different. They'll always do something different. Maybe the people who are doing work in your college are doing it differently, but people from other colleges are doing different things. They're participating in different competitions. They are doing something which the people in your college would not know entirely. So LinkedIn is a good uh, like network where you get to know people share what they are doing, what courses they are taking up, what competitions they're participating in, what other what research papers they are publishing. So you get to know what other people. Just make sure you have the exposure to all these. Maintain good contacts with people in your 12th class as well, where you should know that where people end up afterwards. Make sure you have good contacts with them so that you continuously interact with them, and there's a sharing of ideas, and if people are doing something differently in other colleges, try to introduce that in your college as well, and make sure you will always find people. If you're interested in data analytics and no one in the college is doing that, and you're really interested into it, try to educate someone has a similar mindset in the college, and make sure you educate him that see, other people are doing like this. We'll also try to implement that in our college, and we'll build a club around it, and we'll get a few other like-minded people, and we'll work upon it. We'll do some competitions. We'll go to various other outside competitions. We'll conduct competitions within the college. So all this will you will only get this exposure by going to other colleges or interacting with people from other colleges.
I think yeah, very well put across, Karthik. I think you're speaking about the exposure. Also, I think when you're speaking to people from outside of your college, you can also exchange ideas, and you might have one part of the puzzle, and then the other part of the puzzle might be given by them. And with the technologies and with the platforms available today, I think it's very easy to get connected with others, share ideas. I think you put across very well, like start a same club in your college, invite people, keep competitions and all. I think that's a very nice point, Karthik. Karthik, you also done a couple of internships in your undergrad, and since being a fresher, I think internships might have given a glimpse into how the corporate world is going to be there. So, how was your internship experiences were like?
So being in mechanical engineering, I thought that I would not get an internship because I didn't have the core knowledge that would be required. So I started preparing for software internships. But Bajaj was the first company which came to the campus, and I somehow was happy to get into that, and they selected me too. So it was a really good experience. But again, during these interviews, they test your practical knowledge. So the racing team which I was part of, it was an electric vehicle. So one of the questions during these interviews was that so Bajaj holds the Pulsar brand. So they asked me, suppose I bring you a Pulsar vehicle, and how will you make that an electric vehicle? What kind of motor specifications would be required? What capacity of battery would be required? So understanding your entire project, you can answer these type of questions, because people want these practical experiences, and they want industry trainings and all these kind of experiences. So internships, when I got an opportunity to work on the assembly line of the new uh, vehicle, the electric vehicle Bajaj Chetak. So it hadn't been released then, and it was a highly confidential project which I was given. So that was the first that gave me pride of working on a good project which was confidential. I was not supposed to share any information regarding that to anyone, including my family. That was the first brief they had done to me. And when I entered the whole facility, like it has always been automobiles has always fascinated me since my childhood. And like when I went into the plant, when there was like I entered the KTM assembly line first, KTM racing bikes, and that gave me goosebumps because that was the first time I was seeing an assembly line where around 30 vehicles were being manufactured on the assembly line. So all these were taught in my academics as well, but that was the first time I just realized how different whatever is taught in the classroom is different to whatever is there. So in my classroom, it was always said that moving assembly line is never possible, it's difficult and all that. But when I go there, everything is moving assembly line. People are continuously working on fixing one bolt, one nut. Everything is going on simultaneously. No one is being stopped. And there was new concepts like total productive maintenance. And I got to know a lot of different things which have been excluded from our syllabus. So something which is really required. And I got to work on the sequence of operations which had to go onto the vehicle. So I had to analyze some worksman had assembled the entire vehicle in front of me. Again, right from the chassis was there, and he slowly assembled all the parts, including the wheels. Everything was assembled, and then he asked me, now design a sequence of operations. What do you think, if the vehicle moves on an assembly line, what things should get onto the vehicle first, and what around 30 operations which were to be conducted. There were sub assemblies which were there. So all these gave me a new exposure like something which I have not done, and also gave me that pride of making an impact as well. So while interacting with the workers there, if I was trying to make a decision of changing a fixture or anything, these people from Marathi, they only understood Marathi and little amount of Hindi. So one day the mentor came to me and just told me to implement the idea which I had, and I had to literally write down everything in Marathi for them and gave it to them. So they again implemented the idea. So that was another important thing which I learned, that language, the very important thing. You need to put additional effort. Even if you have the knowledge, getting things implemented is different. So that kind of exposure is also very enriching for me.
I think very nice to hear that, Karthik. I think especially someone with mechanical engineering having this kind of an experience will eventually be valuable to a lot of other people. And I can actually connect it to the previous point that you told, like when you connect with people from other colleges, let's say someone from other NITs or other colleges had a connect with you, and he or she might be a mechanical engineer, but might not have got a chance to get a core internship. But then if they're interacting with you, they'll have the knowledge of your experience as well. So that's how connections with other colleges, I mean, students from other colleges really helps. So I can actually connect that. I think your experience was awesome that you had it.
Yes, Bajaj also helped me interact with people from IIT. So our racing team, the budget was around 3 lakhs. So that was itself a very big thing for us, that we invested and made a big vehicle out of 3 lakhs. But when I went to the Bajaj internship, I had a chance of meeting some people from IITs, and one person manufactured an electric vehicle where the cost of transportation was 8 lakhs. So the entire project was around 30 lakhs, which was completely sanctioned by the college. They went and participated in an event in Singapore, and we struggled to participate in an event in Punjab. So we knew, like, I got to know about these only from these people from IITs. They, again, this was also something which I learned, that was again an inspiring moment for me, that see, I need to connect with more people and get to know about different things which other people are doing. So I had no knowledge of competition in Singapore, let alone participating in it. And they also, it was a college from, it was a team from IIT BHU, and they almost got the first prize as well. So this was something which I had no knowledge about, and uh, getting to interact and knowing their story, he shared the entire story, whatever challenges they faced, and these helped me again. It's only about talking to people, talking to as many people as possible. Everyone has a different story, and make sure you understand each person's perspective about what they are doing and what they could have done better. So it's only about interacting with people.
Correct, exactly, Karthik. I think, Karthik, you have shared many insights which will definitely be helpful to the students who are currently in their undergrad, be it even if they're going for CAT or even if they're going for MBA or not. Any other points that you want to share that would be helpful to people who are in their undergraduation that you want to share, be it related to MBA in their as their higher studies or any other aspect of their careers?
So one important thing which I would like to share is that usually the undergraduate people have this perception of only work experience people will have a good chance of getting into MBA, and they can do better in an MBA only if they have work experience. Only some companies prefer all this. So having interacted with some of my seniors, it has not been, there's no proof of anything like that, and it's all a rumor or anything like that. So basically, people tend to take the CAT lightly in their final year, considering they see that they get 2 years of work experience and then they'll go for a CAT. But my only advice is that see, you get a lot of time in your final year. Try to give the CAT your best shot this year. Make sure you get a few interview calls. Even if you want to go for an MBA 2 years later down the line, make sure you give a good attempt this year. Try to get a few interview calls, and try to write as many entrance exams as possible during this time, because you won't get the time later on. Once you join the job, it is really difficult and depends on the company you're joining about the time you will be getting. So final year is a best time which you can devote to giving a CAT. So try to put in as much effort in the CAT exam during your final year, so that you have a good base if you are writing the exam next year. And make sure you have a good interview calls, attend them, see what they are asking, and there might be things you might improve on. See what other candidates who are joining the coming for the interview go through, the ask them their profile and what they are doing. And again, that again is a different area where you can interact with people and see what they are doing. Maybe after that you come back after a year with a improved profile, talking to these people, and you have a basic knowledge of attempting the interview, how things go on. And if you messed up during an interview this year, you can improve on those mistakes next year. Instead of like giving it 2 years down the line, and that is the first time you give the CAT seriously, and that's the first time you go to the interview seriously. Instead of that, you have a experience before, attempt 2 3 interviews this year, build on that, like make sure you document it well, and when you come across the same situation next year, you have a better understanding of what to do and what not to do. So that would be an advice.
I think that's an awesome point, Karthik. Instead of just trying to think that I'm going to give my best shot 2 years down the line, just give your best shot whenever you have it, and then make sure you're using this to go to the next level. Because there are, I think, there are a few people who have got calls from the new IIMs in their first attempts, but that experience really helped them when they actually got into one of the old IIMs. I think that was a brilliant point, Karthik. And thanks, Karthik. Thanks for taking out the time and sharing all the wonderful insights that you have shared. And all the best to your MBA journey, Karthik.
Thank you, Ajay. It was really nice talking, and it's a really good initiative. Always will be happy if you are continuing the series as well.
Sure, sure. Thanks, Karthik. Looking forward to do further interviews with you down the lane.
Thank you, Ajay.